Mic check. Here we go. That's a lot better. All right, welcome to the show. My name is Julien Stoutt. I am a licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, licensed special education teacher, world record powerlifter, here to take the fear out of fitness. I am back. Notice I gave you a little bit more of an introduction than I normally do, because before there was something that I used to say that I didn't say before, and that was licensed special education teacher, and I am now just that. So proud of that. That's part of the reason why I've been mainly on hiatus. Also needed a little bit of a mental break. Part of the reason why I'm a little late, as a matter of fact, because I had to knock the rust off of the computers because they didn't know how to act, apparently. So with that being said, welcome to the Stoutt Fitness Show. My name is Julien Stoutt. I am a licensed personal trainer, a licensed PE teacher, a licensed special education teacher, and a world record powerlifter. And I am definitely here to take the fear out of fitness. So today, you saw the title in the thumbnail, and I have a question for you. And that question is what happens when you are no longer physically capable of performing the things that life may require of you? Now, before you actually answer, think about it for a minute. Give yourself a time to marinate on that. I want y'all to really marinate on that. Okay? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna do something real fast. Okay, give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this squared away. Let's try that again. We're having a little bit of, like I said, knocking the rust off of this thing, because it wants to be annoying. Let's do this. It's getting on my nerves. Something is acting real funny. I can't see any of you guys on here now. There we go. That's way better. That is way better. So, getting back to what I was talking about. If you're in the chat right now, go ahead and give me a shout out. Let me know you're there. But getting back to what I was saying, because now I can actually see you guys. Are you physically ready for what life requires of you? Because I am going to be able to tell you right here and right now that life is not going to be what you think it is very soon. As you can see, without getting too political, as you can see, your food at this current point in time cannot be trusted merely by the hands of others simply because they are a corporation that literally, you know, says that you're there to be trusted to feed you, right? And you got salmonella poisoning, you got explosive diarrhea, you've got all of this new stuff going on. I don't know the exact name of the disease or the bacteria that causes the explosive diarrhea, if that makes sense. So I'm not even gonna try to say it and embarrass myself. You know what I'm saying? And the joke is that who are you gonna? You got people apparently spitting in other people's food because of the color of their skin. You can't trust people anymore. You can't trust people to do the right thing all the time. And unfortunately, if that's the case, you're going to need resources. You're going to need resources in order to sustain yourself. And what does sustainability have to do with fitness? Well, I'm about to tell you. Because number one, strength is not for clout. It is a life skill. Okay. Why is it a life skill? Because it's not aesthetic, because when you lift something and it's heavy, you know, can you pick something up and move it to another place? Can you carry water from one location to another to, say, water your garden? Can you gather the crops that you'll get from the yield of what you've planted? Because again, can't trust everybody to feed you now with all the regulations being rolled back and things being deregulated, right? Jalapeno peppers, lettuce, eggs. In some cases, there was a meat issue not too long ago. So if you think that I'm just saying this just to say it, I got news for you. I definitely got news for you, because it is what it is. So when you have to carry feed to your calf or your cow, or when you unfortunately have to carry whatever groceries you do purchase from corporations. When you have to water and seed and fertilize and all that stuff too, are you going to have the strength to perform all the tasks that come with that? It is really important that you understand that this is where the future is going. Are you cardiovascularly capable of walking 5 miles in case your car shuts down? I don't know if you know this or not, newsflash. Shout out to Sister Crimson Cure because she touched on this situation on her podcast not too long ago. And when she touched on it, it made me think about the physical requirements that come with this, right? Suppose you do realize that if you have not purchased a vehicle recently, and I'm talking about a brand new vehicle, a 2026, 2027 vehicle and newer, what's going to happen is if your car feels, and I did use the word feels that you are driving unsafely, you are a hindrance to the public. You're a detriment to the public, excuse me. If your car feels that you're unsafe, or if you haven't paid your car note on time and your car shuts off mid-drive, do you have the physical capabilities of traveling from point A to point B as necessary? Can you climb several flights of stairs with your items? Can you run and get help? Can you fight off an attacker for more than a minute? Can you if you have to move left to right, up, down, fast, duck, weave, and still be able to perform, can you do that? If you have been following me on Facebook, you have noticed that I have regained my affinity to run. Remember, I haven't ran for about 20 years. But I'm going to tell you a secret. For those of y'all who do know, I do some training of my own, meaning I train with other people. And I realized my cardio is not what it needs to be for me to be able to defend myself appropriately. And what do I mean? But I'm strong. I know I'm strong. Always been strong. Right? But the cardiovascular, I moving around and ducking and weaving and swinging and grabbing and moving and pushing another individual for over 2 minutes is exhausting. Okay? And because it is exhausting to the point where I lose my composure, I can't maintain my balance. I can't pick my feet off the ground because my legs feel like lead, especially my feet. It feels like somebody put ankle weights on my feet. I had to recognize what the issue is. The issue is not that I can't move, because I am quick. I'm still quick. But utilizing that quickness and that agility for an extended period of time becomes tiresome. And as a result of that fatigue, legs get heavy, arms get heavy, and then you get punched in the face. And let me tell you, doesn't feel good getting punched in the face. no matter how hard or soft that those individuals were punching you in the face. It does not feel good. So because it doesn't feel good, I have to do what I have to do to regain my cardiovascular ability to maintain my quickness and agility. Because having quickness and agility for 2 seconds is all well and good until that person walks you down laughing and giggling at you because they know you're tired. And all they have to do is wait you out. Have you ever watched those National Geographics where the predator's chasing and they know their prey is weakening and all they got to do is keep chasing, and they know they're getting tired and they know they can't keep it up much longer, and they're going to succumb to the chase or to the pressure that that animal is applying to them? It works in everything, buddy. I have news for you. It works in everything. And me being 49 going on 50 soon, it doesn't make anything, it doesn't make it any better to recognize that your lack of cardio training for well over a decade has caught up with you. Because I could have done what I needed to do. I could sprint somewhere to get to what I need to get to. But like I said, if I have to go at it for more than 30, 40, 45 seconds, it's not going to end well for me. So now, you know, your cardiovascular is practical. You didn't think about it that way, did you? You didn't see it as I need to be able to move quickly because it might be necessary for my survival. A lot of you out there have this notion that, you know, I'm just a girl, or I'm a woman, I don't do that. Some of you are like, you know, I'm very cerebral. You know, I don't want to fight anybody. I don't want to grapple with anybody. I don't want to run anybody down and tackle them. I don't want to do any of that. Because for what? That's barbaric. Well, I got news for you. If you're on your last phone, let's say, for instance, the phone you have in your hand right now is the last phone you will ever have. And it has to work. And not only does it have to work, but somebody snatched it out of your hands while you were using it. And it is the keys to life as it is right now in so many ways, right? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? You have lost your lifeline and you can't get it back from the individual that took it from you. You can't chase him down. You can't wrestle him to the ground because you don't know anything. Because you're cerebral. You're a brain. You don't do stuff like that. That is above your pay grade. That is beyond you. Well, now you're going to suffer mightily because you didn't do what is necessary for you to actually take care of your body. Do you have a decent body composition? Now, a lot of y'all are going to turn around and say, what does my body composition have to do with anything about me being prepared for adversity? Well, let's break it down. If your body fat percentage is extremely high, that means your metabolism is out of whack, which means you might be, you know, you might not be able to utilize the energy in your system as effectively as one would like. Because your muscles are surrounded by fat, it is hard for sugar to get into the muscles to perform, which means You're a diabetic. You're a type 2 diabetic at this point, right? Which means your energy, your ability to access that energy is poor. What does that mean? Remember when I was talking about agility and quickness and cardiovascular capability? Well, guess what? Your VO2 max ain't going to be too great because your ability to access energy is diminished. Blood sugar gets too low, guess what happens? Liver starts making you miserable, starts making you feel nauseous, starts making you feel like you want to throw up, making you feel like you are incapable of moving. It's almost similar to getting punched in the liver in boxing. If you were to get hit in the liver in boxing, guess what happens? You will end up on the ground and you will think, at first, when you get hit there, you think, I'm good, I could take it. And then your body says, stop now. I don't care if you're the toughest of the tough of the tough. I don't care if you're the baddest of the bad. You get hit in that liver, it's a wrap. Sorry. So, as a result, you end up putting yourself in a position where you can't perform. Your liver, your kidneys, all the things that help your body function isn't functioning anymore because your body composition is poor. Now you are in a position of weakness. You can't do what is needed of you in order for you to do what is necessary for you to remain self-sufficient. You know, think about it. How many of you use DoorDash to deliver your groceries? How many of you actually go through the supermarket to pick up your items as opposed to using the app to have workers deliver it to your car? Some of us have gotten so bad at it, we don't even go to buy our fast food. Think about that. Fast food is already a convenience, yet we are so out of sorts that we don't even want to go and get it. We don't want to go and get it. Do you think we're on the right end of history right now? Do you think that we are on the right end of history to be able to say that, you know what? I'm good. I can actually perform my life's necessities. I can get on a bike and get to a neighborhood to go pick up some items. I can walk to the store. I can walk a great distance to the store and back. And when I say a great distance, I don't even really mean a significant distance. I legitimately mean like 4 or 5 city blocks. Can you even walk 4 or 5 city blocks right now? Do you have the muscular integrity to tolerate such inconvenience? My feet hurt, my knees hurt, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my hips hurt, my toes hurt. Can you tolerate such an inconvenience? If the answer is no, what do you think you need to do? I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You need to get a trainer. ASAP. Rocky, Ferg, you need to go and get yourself a trainer. Stop thinking that you're good the way you are. Stop being prideful. Stop looking at yourself and thinking you're good in the position you're in and think that everything is awesome. It is not. You don't even have the gumption to go grab your own food, put it in a cart, and drag it and push it into your vehicle to drive back to your house. You don't even want to leave the house. You want your groceries delivered to you. You want your Starbucks delivered to you. You want your McDonald's delivered to you. You want your Domino's. Well, Domino's always delivered, but you still want it delivered to you. Now, for me, delivery is a convenience that you use when you can't leave the house. Say, for instance, you're throwing a party and you can't afford to leave because all of the guests have arrived, but you're missing some key ingredients. You're missing some of the foods that you had intended to go pick up yourself. That is when you use the DoorDash. That is when you use the grocery delivery service. That's when you use it. That's when you should be using it. But many of us drive all the way home from our job, which was on the way to the supermarket that you drove by to get home. And still you manage to turn around and go home and then get on your phone and be like this. And then to make matters worse, most of us are crying about affordability right now. Man, groceries have gotten real expensive, but yet you're paying another $20 to $40 to have them delivered. Man, I remember when a McChicken was $1. Now it's $4, but then you're willing to pay another $4 to have it delivered. You took a $1 McChicken that's now $4 and turned it to an $8 McChicken. Make that make sense. Not only are you bad at living conveniently, but you're lazy at even that. It is high time for you to get a trainer, and guess what? Your boy is right here. Not only do I do in-person personal training, but I also do online personal training. So if you want to get down with the online personal training, go ahead and type in Stoutt Fitness, all one word, at gmail.com, and send me an email. Shoot me an email and say, hey, my name is such and such. I was watching your channel and I need a trainer. I'm not telling you this simply to merely make money off of you, but I am literally telling you this because it is coming and it is real. You're going to realize one day that what you have done to yourself, all of these little inconveniences that you have created, is going to be detrimental to your lifestyle. Some of you are like, I can't dance, I don't know how to dance, so I won't dance. You better learn how. Because I got news for you fellas. Girls don't like guys who can't dance. It suggests things that you're incapable of doing that you want to do with girls. Just gonna leave it at that. Ladies, if you can't dance, some men are going to look at you the exact same way. You're a cold fish. So if you don't want to be looked at as a no-stroker or a cold fish, You might want to turn around and learn how to dance. You might want to learn how to be physical. You might want to learn how to get active, because it's not just for show. It is not just for aesthetics. It is not just to turn around and flex in the mirror. It is not just to turn around and try to make your ex jealous. That's not what this is about. This is about your life and what the future will bring as a result of it. You think they playing out here? They're not playing out here. I haven't bought lettuce in a month. When I make nachos, I just make nachos. I don't make tacos. I don't make taco salads. I don't do that right now. Hell no. Because I like my body. Let me put it like this. Let me keep it real with you. Have you ever had a colonoscopy? For those of you who have not had the fortune of having a colonoscopy, let me give you an example of what it's like. Okay? They give you, so there's two legitimate ways that they'll make you go about prepping yourself. They're either going to make you drink this nasty, magnesium citrate. They're going to either make you drink that, which comes in a fizz. It's like a liquid in its fizz form, and they'll try to say it's lemon flavored, but it's really not. It's gross. And you got to drink that. And you got to drink that on like 2 to 3 occasions, right? And it's a whole little bottle. It's about that. It's about the size of my mouth. Man, a little bit bigger than my mouse. But it's about that size, and you drink it. And then it'll start working on you. And then you're going to spend the rest of your time in the bathroom. So, or they'll make you overdose on Miralax. Now, when I say overdose, I don't mean that it is going to do physical harm to you, because Miralax is something that will naturally make you use the bathroom over time if you take it as directed on the instructions. However, when they make you do a colonoscopy, what they tell you to do is pour half the bottle. Yes, half the bottle inside a quart of Gatorade. Pour it all in there, shake it up real nice, shake it up, and then start sipping on it. First, they want you to drink about, I think 8 ounces or so. And then after that, every 10 minutes, you are to, take a swig until you're halfway done. Then you legitimately will spend, I guarantee you, it'll happen within 30 to 40 minutes. It'll happen within 30 to 40 minutes. Your stomach starts gurgling, and you will get on the toilet like as if you drank the water in Mexico. And if you don't know what that's like, be lactose intolerant and drink milk. Let's do that. That's what it's like. On steroids. You're not getting off the toilet. You better be very close. Okay? And why am I describing that to you? Because that is exactly what it's like to have food poisoning from that bacteria, which gives you explosive diarrhea. Meaning you don't have time to clench cheeks and dart to a bathroom. It is coming, and it is coming fast and furious. That's what me and my wife are avoiding now. And I'm one to promote the use of vegetables, promote the use of certain types of foods, so that way we can be healthy. And I'm like, hell no. I'm not doing it. And you not doing it because I don't want to be in the emergency room. I don't want that drive. I'm not trying to drive anybody in my car with explosive diarrhea. Sorry. We better do something. We better do a telehealth or something because we ain't driving. Because my drive to the hospital or to the doctor's office is at least 45 minutes. And no, I'm not risking it. And that's at least 30 minutes to the nearest convenience store, 30 minutes to the nearest supermarket, 30 minutes to the nearest bathroom. Minimum. If I could get to the gas station in enough time, that's still 25 to 30 minutes. No cap. So you really think I'm going to be driving somebody with explosive diarrhea in my car? Guess what we doing? We taking your car. We're going to put a tarp down in case you can't quite catch it. I'll even tell you to grab a change of clothes on the way so we can just throw these some so-and-sos in the trash because you ain't going to make it. Elevators, escalators, hired help. All of these Uber drivers. I mean, what else? What else do we have? We don't have the muscle density. We don't have the strength. We don't have any of that anymore. A lot of us don't. Why are you making me do this? Why is this a thing? Who does this to themselves? Who picks up heavy things and puts them down? Who runs as hard as they can for long distances? That just seems unenjoyable. You're half right. Sometimes it's not fun. When I'm training, it is hot as hell. And I'm not exaggerating. On days when it's 100 degrees and the doors are closed, the windows are closed, we are sweating up a storm. And I mean, I can wring my shirt out in a matter of minutes. If you haven't drank enough water, you will dry out. You will shrivel. Water has become my best friend now. And I'm going to tell you, as a matter of fact, my wife will be able to tell you straight up. She'll be able to tell you straight up, I hate water. Like straight up water, I hate water. But I drink it anyway. As a matter of fact, now I just drink it. I don't even care. Because I know how much hydration I need to perform in that ring, to perform in that gym for my own personal satisfaction. We're not even talking about weightlifting. We're talking about moving and grooving, vibing and sliding. Swinging, missing, ducking, dodging, weaving, pulling, stepping, feinting, all of it. I sweat so much. Every time I go, I sweat so much that I'm scared to leave in the wintertime. I have to have a change of clothes. I have to have a new shirt to leave with in the wintertime because I'll freeze. My clothes will literally freeze right on my body because I'm that soaking wet. Just take a bucket of water and pour it on me, and that's what my clothes look like after an hour in the gym. You have to do something. You cannot sit back and think that you can't sit back and think that this is a game anymore. Self-defense starts with your physical capacity. Like I said, you cannot defend yourself if you do not have your things in order. Speed, balance, quickness, power, agility, strength, stability. All of those components are important to merely defend yourself. And a lot of you can't. I promise you, a lot of you can't. And I'm not talking trash to you. I really am not. I want you to understand how intense defending yourself really is. I was in the ring with a pro, a couple of them actually. I was in the ring with a couple pros. And let me tell you, humbling experience. If you think for 1 second you could turn around and fight at all, get in there with a pro. You might be able to beat one guy or another, or one girl or another in your neighborhood or in out in the ether, but get in there with somebody that does it for real. And you will find out how woefully underprepared you really are. And I've been doing this for a year. And even then, woefully underprepared. They weren't even hitting me with full strength. And I'm not saying that they hurt me, because they didn't hurt me, because they weren't hitting me with full strength. So they were not, their intent was not to hurt me. Their intent was to hit me. Two different things. But I'm talking about how tired I was just moving, trying to avoid his punches, just trying to avoid them, trying to stand toe to toe with them, ducking and moving my head and stepping around and weaving and pulling back and all of that and going around and everything. By the time, for 1 solid minute, feels like an eternity when you're about to get your behind whooped. It feels like an eternity when you're getting your behind whooped. It is an eternity. A minute in time is forever. While you thinking that, oh yeah, I could last around with Mike Tyson. No, you can't. Unless you have been training as a pro or training like a pro. Unless you've been doing that for a significant period of time, you cannot. Because I assure you, Mike Tyson at 60 will pack you up in a New York second. Not even a New York minute, a New York second. You lack the quickness, you lack the agility to stand in the ring with that man. Let's even pretend like his power is gone. Let's say his frightening, freakish power that he was in possession of 35 years ago, 40 years ago, is now diminished to a point where if he hits you, you could take 1, maybe 3 of his punches without going down. He moves so fast and knows so much about cutting you off from the ring that he will be on you like white on rice, and then he will hit you those 3 to 5 times in such a quick succession that you will not last longer. I promise you. As a matter of fact, I will give you a specific amount of time how long you can last with 60-year-old Mike Tyson. 60-year-old Mike Tyson and being charitable about it. I think, honestly, the average man will last approximately 25 seconds with 60-year-old Mike Tyson right now. I'm putting a number on it, and I'm saying it as though, ding, ding, Mike Tyson is walking up on you. He's not even bum rushing you. He's walking up on you. He's moving you around. He's making you feel a little uncomfortable because you are being cornered and you can't get away and you don't know how to throw punches properly. You're going to start swinging wildly and he's just going to sit there and giggle. And he's just going to just, and then in your face, you're throwing punches and you're missing embarrassingly in his presence, arm's distance from him. And he's making you miss like it's a joke. And then he hits you once. Like I said, this is assuming you could even take one of Mike Tyson's punches. He hits you once. Oh, he hits you in the solar plexus. You can't breathe now. You go. You can't breathe. You can't breathe. And that was just one. He ain't even hit you up here yet. He hit you right there. And now he's smiling at you because he knows you can't breathe. Now your legs feel like jello. Your legs, no, they don't feel like jello. They feel like lead. They don't even want to move anymore. You don't even want to move anymore. At first, you was even trying to dance around with him and play, dance the dance with him. And guess what? Now you don't want to dance no more. You just start stumbling because them legs are heavy. And then he hits you one more time in the other side of your ribs. And now you're like, and now you're grimacing. And you tightened up. You saw it coming and you tightened up, but you can't take it. And then those third and fourth punches, the final ones, upside your head. Good night. Sleep tight. Here's your blankie and your bot because you're gone. I promise you, you're gone. If my sparring partners, either one of them, wanted to knock me out, I know they could have. With ease. Again, 1 year of doing this. And I'm woefully, embarrassingly not ready. So what do you think you're going to do? And I'm an athlete, a legit one. What are you going to do? You think your rec league basketball skills is going to save you in an altercation? It's not. Newsflash, nope. Because like I said, you could be moving and grooving and dipping and ducking like you do with the basketball in your hand, but the minute you get hit, legs start turning around and doing the stanky leg. You start getting jello. Your legs start feeling like jello. One half of you feels like it's floating. The other half feels like you don't know what's going on. Like your body's separating from itself. Like I'm not exaggerating when I describe this to you. Your legs will feel like they're not on you anymore. And you're desperately trying to ground yourself. And it won't work for a little while. And God forbid you're not trained enough to move despite having those sensations that your legs are no longer there. They don't exist. Now they're grinning at you. And like I said, couple more to the body, 2 to the head. You are asleep. And now they're taking your Apple Watch and your AirPods and your Jordans. And your credit card, and your phone, and whatever else that they can pull off of you in the convenient time that you are unconscious. Like I said before, convenience is supposed to make your life easy, not make it non-existent. For those of y'all who are old enough to have watched the Jetsons, rumor is that Jim Carrey might do that movie as George Jetson, I'm assuming. But for those of y'all who have ever watched the Jetsons, the future that is the Jetsons, work is your finger. You push a button for 8 hours. Push the button. That's all you're doing. And George Jetson complained as though he worked his behind off in a steel factory. Oh, my aching thumb. I'm so tired. Even go watch Jetsons the movie if you're a millennial. I'm sure if you're a millennial, you saw Jetsons the movie. The reason why I know you have is because my brother's a millennial and I watched it with him. He had the movie. The notion that work is merely touching your screen, pushing a button. We don't even have buttons except for on our computers. Think about that for a minute. I want you to really sincerely think about that. Is that the future? Is that how physically capable you want to be in your future? Do you want to be able to get up off the toilet in your 60s, in your 70s, in your 80s, maybe even your 90s? Do you want to be able to do that? Because I got news for you. If you are not taking your mortality seriously, it's going to sneak up on you and bust you upside the back of your head, and you're going to wonder what hit you. And then all of a sudden, that's when you're going to be desperate to try to get in shape, but it's too late. It's too late. It's never too late, but your capabilities that you could have achieved sooner and maintained it, now you are killing yourself trying to achieve that level of fitness in your advanced age. There are 50-year-old men who can't do half of what I can do. There are 40-year-old men who can't do half of what I can do. Shoot, some of y'all 30-year-olds, yeah. Right now, I'm in the presence of children and young adults, and I got to keep up with them. And in some cases, I can't. Like I told you, my cardio is not as good as it used to be because I ignored it. But I'm here to tell you. That those are young people that I'm keeping up with, that I'm fighting to keep up with, that I'm pushing to stay in line with. Now, if you're a capable 40, 30, 40, 50-year-old person, then obviously I got to keep up with you too. But for those of you who are too cerebral, too highbrow to get your hands dirty, for those of you who think it is beneath you to get physical because you are a person of a certain profession, you're not ready for what's coming. You're not ready for what's coming. I already broke down a little bit of it, but if you want to know exactly what might be coming, I'll put the link to Sister Crimson in the comments so that you can go back and watch that video and start seeing it for what it is. Because a lot of what she said is dead on the money. She did not miss in that video. From a physical standpoint, from a health standpoint, you have to be willing to do the most in order to preserve your lifestyle. And when I say preserve your lifestyle, I'm talking about being able to eat certain types of foods, being able to enjoy certain types of things, and know that it is not hindering your capacity to perform. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I get water delivered to my house, and I'm talking about those, 5-gallon bottles of water. Them things is heavy. They weigh about 30, 40 pounds a piece. And I pick them up 2 at a time and walk up steps with them, or bend over and deadlift them, stand up with them and carry them into the house, maneuver them around and having to make sure that they're stacked properly. It's not easy. It's heavy. Now, when I say heavy, heavy is relative, but it is heavy. I can pick them up and put them down. But make no mistake about it, it's not easy. Now, imagine having to do that when tending to a garden. I'll just use a hose. Okay, what if you can't use a hose and you got to go and fetch water? Grab pails, pull it out of the cistern, walk over to the plants and water them. Pull potatoes out of the ground. Pull carrots out of the ground. Pull onions out of the ground. What if you have to do all of that? Can you do it? What if you live in a community and they have a community garden and you now have to carry your share of the goods up a flight of steps, several flight of steps, because the elevator doesn't work, because the data centers are killing your electricity to the point where you don't even want to, nobody wants to use the elevator because it's going to cost everybody more money. Keep that in mind. Think about how expensive electricity will get that you're no longer want to use it. You're going to use it sparingly, only to charge your electronic components that are necessary. Only to watch enough television to inform yourself, not even to entertain. Because it's too expensive. The electricity is too expensive. Only enough to run your appliances appropriately. Think about that. Would you be an asset or would you be a liability if it came down to it? If your answer is liability, put a 1 in the chat. If you're going to be an asset, put a 2 in the chat or in the comments. Either one. If you are going to be a liability, put a 1. Don't lie either. Don't make this about your ego, because I'm here to tell you your ego is going to get you deleted. Your ego is going to get you harmed. Your ego is going to ruin you physically if you do not humble yourself and think about what all that I've described in this podcast. I want you to think long and hard and then go ahead and put your number in. If you know you cannot perform some of these physical tasks that I've described in this podcast, do me a favor and put that 1 in the chat. Don't hesitate. Don't wait. I want you to think. Imagine that you lost all of that. DoorDash, car, Uber, Walmart, Safeway. Would you be able, what would happen if they, by some odd miracle or inconvenience, you were to be pulled back into 1865? Do you think you have the physical capabilities of living in that timeline? And no, we're not talking about slavery. We're not. Because like I said, 1865, after it ended. Still gotta pull crops out of the ground. Still gotta shuck corn. Still gotta pull watermelons. Still gotta, pick fruit. Still gotta tend to the cows. For those of y'all who eat pork, you still gotta tend to the pigs. Still gotta catch the chicken. Still gotta do all of that. And guess what? Some of you won't be able to do half of what I just described because you have allowed convenience to catch you. You have now made convenience an inconvenience. Like I said, some of you don't even want to go to the supermarket to shop for your food. That's the convenience, and that to you is inconvenient. So don't give me that look. Like I'm talking out of the side of my neck with 2 frogs on each shoulder. Don't look at me like that. I know what I said. You have turned convenience to an inconvenience, so now that inconvenience must be convenient. Where's my Uber Eats? I ordered it an hour ago. I wish Walmart would hurry up and bring my groceries. Dude, get in the car. Drive to Walmart. Drive to Safeway. Drive to Albertsons. Drive to Aldi's. drive to Publix, drive to any of those. What you talking about? Getting it delivered. I got too much things to do. I don't want to be bothered. Inconvenient convenience. Save yourself some money and go. Because I assure you, the amount of money you paid in gas, though as expensive as it is right now, $40 to fill up a half a tank. And I drive a car. Although it is expensive, it is not as expensive as it would cost you to have your groceries delivered to you. Perform a cranial rectotomy and get in the car, go get your food and come back. You have no choice. Even though you have choice, you have no choice, because that choice that you're making to stay in your bed and wait for somebody to knock on your door to deliver your food, and then on top of that, you have to tip them too. You should. And they drove all this way to turn around and bring you your groceries. You should tip them. All that money you could have saved. Think about it. You do that once, maybe twice a week. That's 52 times that your groceries are being delivered to you. Even if you gave them $5, you could have saved $600 just taking your behind to the grocery store your damn self. Goofy. They're playing in your faces and you don't even realize it. They are giving you the freedom of choice, and you guys are utilizing that choice to make bad choices. And those bad choices are eventually going to catch up with you. They're going to tell on you, and they are going to inconvenience you more than the convenient inconvenience. Because like I said, you have spent your majority of your life in your chair. You have spent the majority of your life on your butt. You have spent the majority of your life on your back. Sleeping. Being unconscious. Literally and figuratively. And it is high time you wake up. So let me land this plane. Physical preparedness is not just for you to brag about how much you lift, how fast you run, how high you jump, how hard you punch. Having physical preparedness is a necessity of life. Without it, you will struggle. You can't get off the toilet. You can't climb a flight of steps. You can't get on a ladder. You can't crawl under a house. You can't crawl under your bed. You can't run to safety. You're relying on primal instinct at that point for survival when you don't have to. All you need is a plan, a small amount of discipline, and a massive amount of encouragement. You have to have the right mindset. And you have to be able to be held accountable for what you fail to do. If you cannot be mean, if you cannot understand the variables that allows one to be healthy, then you will not be the best you. Guys, I appreciate it. It's good to be back. Although my computer's still a pain in my butt, I appreciate you all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is Stoutt.